And finally, we'll be honoring one of the greatest rock bands of all time, Kiss.
So happy. I need some fuel to build a fire.
The room hummed with the sterile beep of monitors, dim lights casting long shadows over tubes and wires that snaked from a frail figure in the bed. Ace Frehley, 74, lay still, his once wild silver hair matted, face pale beneath the faint tattoo of silver star makeup from his youth. The air hung thick with antiseptic and the fading echo of rock and roll dreams. A ventilator whispered rhythmically, but it couldn't fight the silence closing in. At his bedside sat Jeanette Trerotola, in her 70s, his estranged wife of nearly 50 years, eyes red-rimmed but fierce, clutching his hand. Beside her, Monique Frehley, 45. Their only daughter, born on July 6, 1980, whispered prayers, her voice cracking like a missed chord. Ace's brother Charles and sister Nancy hovered nearby, remnants of the Bronx family that had first filled his world with piano notes and encouragement. Outside, rain lashed the windows of Morristown Medical Center in New Jersey, a far cry from the pyrotechnic stages of Madison Square Garden. It had started 3 weeks earlier, on September 25, 2025. Ace, ever the tinkerer, had slipped in his home studio while tweaking a riff for his upcoming album, Origins Volume 3. A nasty fall, a brain bleed, canceled tour dates. Now, life support. The family gathered around him, surrounding him with loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and songs, as they'd later tell the world. Jeanette leaned in, her voice a gravelly lullaby forged from decades of shared chaos. Ace, Paul, you were my spaceman, she said softly, tears tracing lines down her face. From that first gig in '73 to every damn fight we had, we made it through the fire. Monique's here, the kids, everyone's waiting. Rest easy, baby. Play that Les Paul up there. Monique stroked his forehead, humming the opening riff to New York Groove, the hit that topped charts in '78, the one that paid for their wedding on May 1st, 1976, in a quiet ceremony amid the Kiss whirlwind. Dad, you saved me that night in '06, Monique murmured, when I called, begging you to get clean. I'm done, kid, you said. 18 years sober. You fought harder than any solo on Love Gun. I love you. Fly high. A faint twitch rippled through him. Ace's eyes fluttered, blue, once electric with stage lights. His lips parted, voice a rasp through the haze of morphine and memory. One more riff, he whispered, a fading grin cracking his lips. Keep rockin' the void. His hand squeezed Jeanette's once, weakly. The monitors flatlined. A nurse rushed in. The family clung together, singing Rock and Roll All Night, softly, defiantly. The spaceman slipped into the stars he'd always chased. The room erupted in sobs. A single guitar wail echoed in the air. Ace's signature Les Paul feedback, as if the amp in the corner had caught his last breath. Paul Daniel Frehley, born April 27, 1951, died October 16, 2025. But the story? It started in the Bronx, where a kid with a guitar dreamed bigger than the skyline. The gritty pulse of New York in the 1950s thrummed through the streets. Kids dodging hydrants, horns blaring like impatient solos. Young Paul Frehley, 8 years old and scrawny with a mop of dark hair, raced home on Marion Avenue. His folks, Carl, a Dutch immigrant stock piano player, and Esther, with her German roots from North Carolina and church keys mastery, waved from the stoop. Siblings Charles and Nancy trailed behind, all of them musical, Grandpa's organ hymns pulsing in their blood. "Ma, Pa, I drew a spaceship today," the boy grinned, out of breath. Gonna fly to Mars. With that imagination? Esther laughed, ruffling his hair. You'll get there, Paulie. Now, help with dinner. Your brother's practicing guitar. Listen to that. The family home buzzed alive. Carl at the piano, Nancy strumming acoustic. Paul absorbed it all, wide-eyed. School at Grace Lutheran, then DeWitt Clinton High, where pals dubbed him Ace for his charm with girls. A counselor spotted his doodles. Graphic arts, kid. You've got talent. Christmas Eve 1964 wrapped the world in tinsel and chill. 13-year-old Ace unwrapped a red Gibson electric guitar. No lessons, no sheet music, just raw fire. He plugged in, fingers fumbling Whole Lotta Love by Led Zeppelin. Influences flooded him. Jimi Hendrix's Wildfire bends, Jeff Beck's Precision, B.B. King's Soul, The Who's Thunder, the Rolling Stones' Swagger. This saves me, he said to the mirror, eyes lit like stage spots. No more bullies, just riffs. Teenage nights in Bronx alleys turned raw. His first band, The Outrage, pounding covers in dingy clubs. He dropped out of high school, chasing gigs with Four Roses, King Kong, Honey. A girlfriend, an early flame, unnamed in his memories, and family dragged him back for that diploma. Post-grad hustles kept the lights on. Mailman, furniture hauler, messenger, cabbie dodging fares, liquor runs. But the guitar called louder than the city sirens. Molimo's got RCA sniffin', he muttered to his reflection in his 20s, practicing scales. This is it, or bust. 1971 brought half an album with Molimo that fizzled like a dud pyro. Late 72, an ad in the Village Voice. Lead guitarist wanted. Ace showed up to a dingy loft above Live Bait Bar. Paul Stanley on rhythm, Gene Simmons on bass, Peter Criss on drums. Mismatched sneakers, one red, one orange. He shredded. They nodded. "You're in," Gene said, "but lose the clown shoes." January 1973 sealed it. The name Kiss stuck like gloss. Ace sketched the lightning logo, double bolts, his graphic flair shining through. Face paint, silver stars around his eyes. Space Ace was born, a sci-fi geek starstruck by 2001, a space odyssey. Rehearsals filled empty dives. Ace drove cab by day, pocketed $50 a week from manager Bill Aucoin by fall. September gigs ignited the fuse. "We're gonna blow 'em to Pluto," he grinned under the paint. February 1974 dropped the debut Kiss. Ace co-wrote Cold Gin. Gene sang it, Ace too shy for the mic, and Love Theme from Kiss. His Les Paul smoked, literally, custom pickups belching fog on stage. Pyros spun wild, alive. In 1975 captured his live fury, Shock Me, born from a Florida electrocution scare that nearly ended it all. 1977 brought Ace's lead vocal debut, Shock Me, on Love Gun. 1978 launched his solo album Ace Frehley, a platinum rocket. New York Groove hit top 20. Kiss unmasked briefly, but tensions brewed. Booze since 13, now heroin whispering in the shadows. World tours blurred into mansions and madness through the 70s. Ace's DeLorean chased cops in 82, fuel for rock soldiers. But cracks spiderwebbed, Gene and Paul pushed pop on Dynasty and Unmasked. Ace, outvoted after Peter's exit, sulked through The Elder in 1981, his solos axed by producer Bob Ezrin. December 82, his last Kiss show. Vinnie Vincent replaced him. Ace pocketed 25% royalties till 85. Lick it up, animalize cash without the sweat. "They want robots," he slurred to the mirror in 82. "I want soul. Fuck it." Demons clawed deeper in 1983, a bottle of perfume downed in blackout haze, desperate for any high. Addiction since the 70s gripped him. Coke, heroin, depression's cold fingers. "Musicians resort to it," he'd later confess. "No idea where I was half the time." Rebirths sparked in 1984. Frehley's Comet formed. Anton Fig on drums, John Regan on bass, Richie Scarlett on guitar and vox. Demos burned hot. First gig, SIR Studios in NYC, November '84, Megaforce deal locked in. Frehley's Comet hit number 43 on Billboard in 1987, Into the Night rocking radio waves. Tours with Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, cut short by promoter woes. Live EP Live Plus One dropped in '88, followed by Second Sighting and Trouble Walkin' in '89, Peter Criss guesting on the latter. Bad Boys tour with Criss in '95 churned the lineup. Todd Howarth, Jamie Oldacre, Sandy Slavin. Ace's riffs shone bright, but sobriety, that was miles off yet. 1996 reunion roared back, all original Kiss on Psycho Circus. Ace's Into the Void stood as the lone gem. The world tour grossed $50 million, but input minimal. Eric Singer drummed most nights. The farewell tour ended in 2001. Ace bolted in 2002. Last Kiss Jam, the Olympics closing ceremony. Rock Bottom circled back in 2006. The phone rang. Monique, terrified. "Dad, get help. For me." "You're right, kid," he said tearfully. "Guitar saved me once. You save me now." He checked into rehab. Sober 18 years by 2024. Autobiography. No regrets in 2011 spilled it all. Bronx, Kid to Star, falls from grace. A New York Times bestseller. VH1 Rock Honors jammed with Slash and Rob Zombie in '06. Kiss Cruise snippets reunited in 18. No final tour spots. Demands unmet. Health flagging. Gene shrugged. He can't stamina it. Creatures Fest 2022 rocked with Chris, Kulik, Vincent. 10,000 Volts in 2024 debuted at number 72 on Billboard. First week sales soaring. Singles blazed. 10,000 Volts. Walkin' on the Moon. September 25th, 2025. Found Ace at 74 in his studio, tweaking strings. Origins Volume 3 hummed half done. His foot slipped. Crash. Lights out. Back in the hospital room on October 16th, the flatline sealed it. The family held tight. Jeanette whispered last. "Go jam with Hendrix, Ace," she said. "We'll catch up." Dawn light filtered through half-drawn blinds the next morning, October 17th, 2025, into Ace's home studio, casting striped shadows over scattered guitar picks, a half-empty coffee mug etched with Spaceman 78, and the Les Paul propped against the amp like a sentinel. The air still smelled of solder and stale smoke, Ace's eternal companions. Monique moved like a ghost through the chaos, eyes puffy from the night's vigil. Jeanette followed, steps heavy but resolute, clutching a worn photo of their '76 wedding. Ace in a white tux, her in lace, both grinning like they'd conquered the cosmos. Monique paused at the desk, a relic from the Bronx days, scarred from endless riff scribbles. Drawers ajar, papers spilling, set lists from the Comet tours, doodles of exploding stars, a crumpled note from Gene in '82. Ace, show up sober or stay home. She rifled gently as if disturbing him anew. "Dad, what did you leave us?" she whispered to the empty room. "One last solo." Her fingers brushed a manila envelope, yellowed at the edges, tucked behind a stack of Origins Volume 3 masters. No label, just a scrawled, "For the Void, if I don't make it," in Ace's jagged hand, the same that penned the Kiss lightning bolt. Sealed with guitar string wax, stamped with a silver star. Heart pounding, she slid it open. Jeanette peered over, breath catching. Monique unfolded the single sheet, typed, but signed in ink. Ace's wild loop on the Y in Frehley. Below it, hints of more. A USB drive labeled Dirt Archive and a key, small brass engraved Safe 217. Her voice trembled as she read aloud. October 1st, 2025. To Monique, Jeanette, Charlie, Nancy. And yeah, even you ghosts in the band. Paul, Gene, Peter. If you're reading this, the riffs stopped. Slipped in the studio like a bad slide. Brain went pop, lights out. Doc says 50-50, but I know the score. Been dodging solos since '51. Bronx kid with a Gibson dream. Made it to the stars, fell back hard. No regrets? Bullshit, plenty. But this is the encore. You know the stories. The perfume blackout 83, the Comet crash lands, the reunion where I phoned it in, 'cause the fire was out. Sober 18 years, thanks to you, kid. That's you, Mo. Jeanette, you stuck when the world spun off axis. Family, you hummed the hymns that got me here. But the dirt, the real pyrotechnics, been collecting since 73. That loft audition? Paul spiked my water with something to loosen up. Gene's business deals in the 80s, LA nights with suits who weren't fans. The Elder? Ezrin's puppet show. But they buried my tracks 'cause I wouldn't sign the NDA on their side hustle. And the 96 reunion. Contracts with clauses that'd make your Les Paul weep. Royalties rerouted. Personas trademarked like cattle brands. 120 pages in Safe 217, First National More.